When disaster strikes, one of the most critical pieces of your emergency preparedness is clean water. The next most important category is good, safe food. So this can be a challenge, especially if the power is out and you're stuck at home. In this video, we'll help you get informed about your short-term emergency food supply. You'll want at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food at home, as well as a 3-day supply you can take with you in your Go Kit if you need to leave your home. Now, 3 days is the minimum you should have on hand as you're working towards having an even larger 3-week stockpile. Let's begin with a stay-at-home emergency scenario. Assume the power and water will both be off during and for a period of time after the actual emergency. Determine what kind and how much food your family needs and will eat for at least 3 days. And we'll talk about the categories of food we recommend in just a moment. Then you'll want to really take into consideration if anyone in your household has special dietary support needs. Then you want to make a good meal plan and a list. Next, you should inventory and set aside items that you already have on this list and that you can afford to stockpile. So keep this food separate from your everyday food supply so that it doesn't get used up by mistake. When you're stocking up, you don't need to buy all the food on your list in one shopping trip. If finances are tight, consider buying a little extra of these items each time you go to the grocery store until you've completed your list. You'll want to know the expiration date or the use-by date on your emergency food and swap that out before it goes bad and then use it up so it doesn't go to waste. Let's go ahead and take a look at some recommended types of emergency food. When putting together your 3-day meal plan, make sure you're exceeding the 2,000 calories per person per day minimum. Let's start off with canned food. These are the ready-to-eat canned meats, fruits, and vegetables, and don't forget a can opener. If you have home canned food, now that's great, but just make sure that it's labeled with a date. Dried grains and legumes. It's important to note here that together rice and beans contain all 9 essential amino acids, and this forms a complete source of protein. Next, protein or fruit bars. Dry cereal or granola. Now, peanut butter is an excellent source of energy as long as there's no one in your household with an allergy. Next is dried fruit. Canned juices. Non-perishable pasteurized milk if you have milk drinkers in the house. And then high-energy foods. Foods for infants. And then comfort or stress foods. A good example of this might be a jar of dried nuts, which also provides an excellent source of calories. So let's move on to food safety and sanitation. Now, without electricity, food stored in your refrigerator and freezer can become, well, dangerous. Bacteria in the food can grow rapidly, especially if the temperature is over 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and it can make you very sick. If previously frozen food is still at least refrigerator cold, it can usually be eaten and even refrozen. But remember, when in doubt, go ahead and throw it out. The refrigerator will keep food cold for about 4 hours if it's unopened and it's not too hot in the house. Refrigerated or frozen foods should be kept at 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below for proper food storage. Use a refrigerator thermometer to check the temperature. Discard any perishable food such as meat, poultry, fish, eggs, or leftovers that have been above 40 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours or more. Now, we'll include a list of additional do's and don'ts for food safety on our website. Let's talk about cooking and food preparation. Alternative cooking sources can be used in times of emergency, including things like candle warmers, fondue pots, or even a fireplace. If you have a charcoal or gas grill or camp stove, that's great, but make sure you only use these outside to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, it's important to know that commercially canned food may be eaten right out of the can without even warming it. Now, it might not taste great, but it can keep you alive. If you are heating canned food, you can do so right in the can by first removing the label, then thoroughly washing and disinfecting the can, and then make sure you open the can before heating. Check out our video that covers emergency food heating and preparation in more detail. Now we'll discuss the food supply you'll need if you must bug out or leave your home in an emergency. Some of the same types of foods you have stockpiled for a stay emergency might work for your go kit as well. But if that food requires preparation, how are you going to do that with the supplies you'll have with you? An excellent type of emergency rations are the prepackaged freeze-dried meals, often associated with camping or backpacking. They can be found online or at local sporting goods stores and even big box stores. There are a variety of companies that offer these emergency meals with a wide range of prices, tastes, and textures. Many of these freeze-dried meals allow you to simply tear off the top of the package and add hot water. Then you just wait till it rehydrates. These type of meals can be purchased individually or in packs, which are usually at a discount. As of this filming, we see prices ranging anywhere from $6 to $15 per 2-serving packet. Even if this seems expensive, the convenience and the 20 to 30-year shelf life makes these a really good option. The last thing we'll talk about today is growing your own food. While this is highly encouraged, not everyone has the opportunity nor space to do this. If possible, even in containers on an apartment balcony, grow some type of food for yourself and your family. Consider growing sprouts or microgreens inside of the home. Regardless if you're growing food or not, you should still prepare your emergency food supply as we've described in this video, as it might be off-season or the disaster itself might wipe out the garden. Now that you've begun to get informed about your emergency food supply, it's time to take action. Research the kind of food you should be stockpiling. Make a list of what you need and an inventory of what you already have. Now is the time to stock up, and don't forget to know your expiration dates so you can rotate out food that's expiring. Understand food safety and sanitation. Know how to safely heat or prepare the food. Have some freeze-dried or ready-to-eat meals on hand for an emergency go scenario. This wraps up another video on getting informed as it relates to your emergency preparedness. Check out our website for additional tips and resources to guide you on your preparedness journey.